Hey there, this is Rick. I hope everyone's having a great day. Right then, I got an email this morning from Jim from the Allotments, and he says that unfortunately Blight has now arrived at the Allotments. We were kind of hoping we were going to get away with it. We were doing okay, but unfortunately he dropped me an email this morning and said the Blight has now arrived. So I now have two choices. I can either chop down all the foliage of my potatoes, or I can put this. He's actually left me a sachet of, he didn't actually say what it was, but he says if you spray that onto your potatoes, it will take care of the blight. But of course that means I would have then grown my potatoes whilst using chemicals. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. I think I'm probably more likely to just chop away all the tops so that the blight can't get to the spuds. I think what I need to do is actually have a look at the potatoes and see what's what. Just give way to this ambulance. Yeah, I think I'll have to do that. So let's go and have a look. Right, I've never actually seen Blight before, so I'm not entirely sure what to look at or what to look for. Let's go and have a look. Let's see if it'll be obvious. Oh yeah, that's pretty obvious. There we go, that is Blight, and it's everywhere. Not good at all. Okay. Right, I think actually I'll have a look to see what's like in here. He said this, it's got the spuds, it's got the tomatoes as well, and it pretty much looks like it. There's there's not a decent tomato among them. They've all been eaten or are going rotten. Can't see any brown spots on the leaves in here. A little slight one there. But the rest of these seem okay. Does that mean I've got away with it in here? Don't know. Hasn't affected the sweet potato, although sweet potato isn't actually a potato, so that's a good thing. And the tomatoes here, these are all coming up anyway. I've pretty much finished with them. All the tomatoes there, they're just, they've gone over now, so these can all come up today. But these don't look blight infected. So I think we're okay inside the polytunnel. I'm not sure what to do about this, because obviously if there's blight around, I think what I need to do is keep that door shut and stop any spores blowing in. I shall do that now. Hello. Ooh. I'll worry about that in a minute. But I think for now, actually Jim said he'd left a sachet of something. Right. Dithane 945 controls plant diseases for use as a home garden fungicide, irritating to respiratory system, may cause sensitization by skin contact. Lots of precautions. I have to admit I am not overly thrilled at using chemicals on the allotment. Right, I think, well, why don't I do half and half? The really badly affected ones, I'll just chop all those off chop them right back. The ones that haven't been too affected yet, what I'll do is I'll move them out of the way and I'll spray some of that chemical on them, and I think that makes sense to me. Sneak look at what Jim's done, just to see if he's got rid of all his spuds or whether he's taken any action or whatever. So this is where he normally grows his spuds here. It's all clear now, but I can see he's got spuds here and here, and oh, I see what he's done. Yeah, you can see the little white, let me zoom in a bit, you can see the little white bits on the leaves. I presume that's the chemical that he's put on them to stop the blight. Same here. Yeah, it looks like he's put that's what that chemical must look like once it's gone on. These ones don't look too bad at all, they haven't been touched, so hopefully they'll be okay. So yeah, I think what I'll do then, although I'm not thrilled at the idea of putting chemicals on my plants, I think I'll do it just so that I can at least get some, you know, reasonably decent Christmas spuds. So, as it's blight, this does not end up in the compost, and I'll have to bag it up, take it home, and then put it out for the bin man when they come for the green bags. I'm also going to probably either bin or disinfect these gloves and these secateurs. Oh, I'm not going to bin the secateurs, but I shall take them home and disinfect them afterwards. Because what I don't want to be doing is carrying the spores around and sort of spreading them around, so I'm going to be really careful. Better get on with it, I guess. Now, I don't know if you remember me planting these back in the summer, or spring actually. I planted two of them on their side and one of them just straight in the ground. These are tomato plants, and I did say that I was going to have a look at the end of the season when I pulled them up, just to see which one had the strongest root system, whether it was the tomato seedlings planted on their side, which are these two, or the one planted normally like this. Now, these have been infected by blight. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to tell much, but I will make a point of having a look right now. So this is the one that's been planted ordinarily. Let's just give that a little pull. It's a bit difficult through this hole. So that's the regular root system. Now let's grab one of these, and this has been planted on its side. And get it through this hole. Right then, ordinary, and that's, where are we? That's the ordinary, and that's the one that was planted on its side, so it's got an extra root system, so it does make a difference. So look, we've got all of this extra, in fact that looks like an original branch that's then gone off and turned into roots. If you plant your tomato plants on their side, you'll get more root growth. Oddly enough, the one planted ordinarily has a lot more growth than the one planted on its side. So, well, this one's probably got more tomatoes. So, what does that tell you? I don't know. So, if I plant it on its side, I get stronger root system but less tomatoes. But if I plant it ordinarily, I get a smaller root system but I get more tomatoes. So, conclude from that what you will. got the same thing here. This was planted on its side, and you've got this extra length of roots. Well, you know, the other one was just roots coming down like this. This basically means the roots have, I suppose if you think about it, it's just literally just gone around the corner. But in fact, I think the plant planted ordinarily probably has a bigger root system than this. But again, smaller plant. Now, I've decided to throw all of these tomatoes, firstly because I'm not impressed by the fact they've been touched by blight, and I'm not really thrilled about eating them now. But also, I'm absolutely sick of the bloody things. I've had so many of them. So, yeah, they can go, and I will hold off eating tomatoes now till much later in the year. Right then, these are the blight infected gloves, and I'm going to take those off and just discard them from now. Get a new pair of gloves, and we'll have a go with that chemical. So there we go. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think what we got here is the equivalent of buying your potatoes at like your regular potatoes at the supermarket, rather than buying organic potatoes, which is what they were up until the point I put the chemicals on it. So you know, I'm not too gutted about it, but obviously, if you know, provided it works and I get some nice big spuds. So there we go. Right, I've just got a few things to finish up on. I've just got to take the tomatoes out of the polytunnel, and they can go on the compost heap because they haven't been affected with the blight yet. And a little bit of tidying up, and I think I'm done. So there's no point in me standing around talking about it. I think I ought to get on with it. This was a bit of waste of time this year. Growing runner beans in pots, not brilliant when you compare it to growing them in the ground. You know, in the ground they just go berserk, but in the pots, if you forget to water them, especially inside the polytunnel here, which I did, they just go really dry and leggy and not very good. So never mind, I shall know how to not grow them in here next year. From here on, it's just a bit of a tidying up operation, which I'm quite happy to do, not necessarily today, but any time. I'll get rid of these tomatoes today. A lot of them have gone really rotten, which is pretty grim. Lots of lessons learned this year about tomatoes, and I think next year it's going to be a case of less is more. Because I got overwhelmed with tomatoes this year. I just did not need that many, and as you can see, like, I'm chucking them away because I'm absolutely fed up to the back teeth of eating them. Plus the fact I can't eat them at the moment because I've got a bit of a stomach issue. It doesn't seem to want to go away, but never mind. Yeah. every time the wind blows, the condensation falls off the roof of the polytunnel. I needed to, I should have pinged the roof before I started this. Never mind. I've just spotted a bag that's been left just inside the polytunnel door, and there are 3 really gorgeous looking cabbages in there. So that's really nice. Now I don't know if that was Jim or whether it was the guys here next door. They gave me a marrow last time. So that's really nice. I should have to do some asking around. So they're really healthy. Look at these. Let's get some gloves off. Oh, hello. Look at you. Look at the wings on that. Can you see the silver bits on the wings? Hopefully, I'm not sure whether it's going to focus or not. There's 2 little silver bits on these wings. They look amazing. Wow. Love moths. I don't know why. They're just amazing little creatures. I better put him somewhere safe. Yeah, you go there. Right then, I'm going to chop all these out, and I'm going to put the crate indoors just to protect it from the weather, just to save it getting any damage from the sun and wind and rain and everything. I think next week I'll have a look through the flower seeds that I've got and see what I can actually plant up ready for the spring. So there we go, that's pretty much it for today. I've done quite a lot. I managed to clear those beds at the back there, same as these beds down here. No longer have tomatoes in them. Now I need to come back and do some tidying up. It's only this first bed here that's ready for next year. Those 2, one and 2, those have got to be dug over, have manure put in them. Same for these 2 down here. And to be honest, all we're waiting on now is the potatoes, which are hopefully going to be ready at Christmas, provided the blight doesn't get them. And the sweet potatoes and the tomatillos, and also I've got an arrowroot there which I have no idea what to do with, so I need to look that up, I think. But anyway, there we go, that's it from the allotment for this week. Like I say, feeling a bit guilty, a bit down, because I've used chemicals. For the last 2 years I haven't used any chemicals apart from slug pellets, which I said I wasn't going to use, but then I realised I wasn't going to have a crop, so I had to use those in the first year. Didn't use them so much this year, didn't really need them. But with the blight being here, this is the first time I've ever used chemicals on a plant. I'm not thrilled about it, but it's a balancing act to be struck here, whether you whether you actually have a crop or whether you just let it all go to waste because of the blight, So if there are ways of dealing with the blight, then I'll give it a go. Well, I'll give it a go this year. As you see, I've done it, and we'll see. See if it makes a difference. See if I get some nice spuds out of it. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get some harsh comments on this video for using chemicals. But all part of the learning process, I think. Anyway, I am out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.